Your word is black.
Can I have the definition, please? Black, referring to people with all possible kinds of skin pigmentation, ranging from the darkest to lightest of shades. Contrary to belief and among other definitions, black is a fact of being. Black is having to work twice as hard only to receive half of what you deserve. It's being criticized by the same people that try to imitate your DNA. But one thing is for certain, black isn't a trend, and so they will always fail at copying the essence of black beauty. Black is always forced to defend the stereotype. It is a spectrum that more often than not leads to an identity crisis. It is having black history erased, but it is black history that helped build this country. Black is living in America where the C might as well be replaced with 3 Ks because the only justice the system supports is there of the white man. It is your screams being silenced unless taken out of your mouth and placed into someone else's. It is being the token black soul for the white savior to profit off of. It is having an entire nation capitalize off of your struggle. Black doesn't fit into those red and white stripes, and so it is living in a world that wants to paint over your black with their blue. Being black is fighting your own battles because they didn't do that when they were fighting for America. It's appreciating its allies, but realizing that the allies don't wear the cuts and bruises in this fight. Black is realizing that you do. Black is the fact that you don't have to do anything to be entitled to death row. Because being black means you're never unarmed and your skin is always seen as a weapon, which in turn means that walking while black, running while black, sleeping while black, eating while black, talking while black, breathing while black, simply fighting for your life while black is a crime. Black is throwing up your hands, yelling to the top of your lungs, don't shoot, but that somehow makes you a better target. It's suffering from gunshot wounds and given a band-aid in hopes to heal the agonizing pain that comes with the black experience. And while it hurts, it's part of the black genetic makeup. Because being black doesn't exist without a history rooted in pain. It's finding peace in that pain. Because the liberation that comes from it, like a rainbow after a storm, is its own form of protest. Black is strength. It's being able to hold your head up high with the weight of the world resting on it. It's being beaten time and time again and still managing to find a way back up. It's understanding that by the way your hair defies gravity and your skin speaks to the sun, that you are a magical being. Black is power. Black is sexy. It's an unmatchable beauty to be compared by no other. It's possessing that soulful secret that even if you tried to explain it, they still wouldn't understand how your skincare is your melanin. It's the drips of gold that shine through your radiant skin. It's not needing to be called a Disney princess because you know you came from royalty, and so by God, you are a natural-born queen. It's creating your own freedom in a world where they want to keep you enslaved. Black is walking into every room with your head held high, for you shall never again bow your head at the sight of the oppressor. Black is being able to swag surf your way through history, with your ancestors on your shoulders helping you ride every single wave. It's that euphoric feeling when you come together as a community, as a culture, as a race, to celebrate the fact that you simply exist in a world that prefers you not to. Black is understanding that your Black is excellence. And after realizing that you live in a world that was built by you but not for you, it's past time you start reclaiming what has always been yours. Black is being enough, more than enough. It is preached self-reliance, self-resilience, self-defense, and racial pride. It is never defined by the constraints of society, but by those who are unable to escape the most powerful thing gifted to them. Black. So again, I say to you, your word is black. B-L-A-C-K. Black.
Baby, so much.
Yeah, Mom, don't even worry. I wanna come home real soon. I miss you so much.
We talk about you all the time. I'm keeping your room exactly like you left it. They tell me I should change it, but I
Mom,
can't.
I miss you too. Don't even worry about that. I'm gonna make it home.
I can't bring myself to do it.
I'm gonna make it back to you, alright?
I just can't. It's your room. I don't want anything out of place.
Yeah, I know. It's been a while.
It has to feel just like you. I made your favorite dinner last night. I make it a lot. Nowadays, it makes it feel like you're home. Your brother doesn't even eat at home whenever I make it. You know that? I miss my baby so much.
We had high hopes for that boy. He went to the best schools. His mama worked her finger to the bone to make sure he went to the best schools.
Yeah, I know she was proud of that boy.
Went to the best universities in this country.
Take that to 3.
Got a damn good job.
Yeah, engineer, right?
But somehow, he ended up here with the rest of us. Funny how that worked out.
Speaking of your little brother, last night he went into your closet and put on that old brown jacket of yours you used to wear when you were in high school.
Yeah. I'm gonna make my way back. Don't even worry
With
about it.
with the beige shoulders and the triangle over your
I
heart.
just wanna come home.
Lord, you used to bug me every day to buy you that jacket. He wanted to wear it and go out with his friends for his birthday last night. He's 18 years old now. Can you believe it? I didn't want him to go, but I guess he's grown now. But he was so adamant about wearing it. I guess that's his way of saying he misses you too.
Yeah, Mama, I miss him too.
So what's your story?
You know what, Gene? I used to ask a lot of questions. My mama said I asked too many damn questions. One night I was on the stroll, doing what I do, you know. And I asked the wrong question to the wrong goddamn man. Red, white, motherfucking blue.
I was nervous about him going out. I haven't heard from him yet. He usually calls. He knows better. He usually calls and let me know.
Hey, man, I got somebody thinking about me, too. Get off the goddamn phone.
I just want my baby boys home.
Look, Ma.
Baby, how much
Let's go.
can a mother take?
I gotta go.
I just want my...
Come on. What's up? Yeah.
Another one.
What?
Another one. Please.
Couldn't cut it, could you?
Man, what are you talking
A
about?
big engineering job. Sacrificed your whole life. Being a good boy. Getting your degrees. And how did they treat you? What did that do to you?
Fought just as hard as them boys for your seat at the table, but they still made you feel like an affirmative action case.
I think you've had enough.
I want another one.
It's your poison. There's Trevor. Broken tail light. Wrong neighborhood. Rum and Coke?
Rum and Coke.
It's not right. Somebody ought to do something about this. I mean, I should do something about this shit. Look at us. I've been working on something and I got an idea I think it help.
My man Joe College. I understand, son. But for us, it might just be a little bit too late.
Man, you crazy, man. What? I told that sucker, hey, man, I don't know what you're getting all loud and belligerent for. Shit, I know my rights. I'm a man. You ain't searching shit.
Now that's some king shit, Percy. What'd he say?
More like what he do.
Oh, excuse me. Can I have some more napkins?
Boy, at this rate, you're gonna take up all of our inventory.
And a pen, please.
Don't think about it too much.
It's a machine so small it could literally fit, in your pocket. And it has a tiny camera on it. And we can record everything. And, little telekinetic waves will, act like an intangible net, a web, that will make sure that we keep everyone aware. No more our word against theirs. We'll have proof. We'll have justice. We'll connect all of us so that we can watch over each other. Keep each other safe.
Nigga, have you lost your mind? What's he talking about? Get up out of here, man.
How you gonna make something like that? And what's it even gonna cost?
Do you hear this? Man, you crazy.
Wait
just a minute now. Now, son, how is any of us supposed to be able to afford something like this? Seriously.
Y'all gotta trust me. It'll help hold all of them accountable. All of us accountable.
Accountable? Accountable for what? They recorded us getting spit in our face, dogs attacking us, and hoses ripping the skin off our backs. And what good did that do?
Oh, man. Get out of here with all that. Get up out of here, man.
Let him go through. He gotta go through.
talk to my mama.
I said I need to talk to her.
Ooh, man.
Speaking of your little brother,
Mama?
last night he put on that old brown jacket of yours. He wanted to wear
Mama?
it and go out with his friends. I haven't heard from him yet. He usually calls. He knows better.
Somebody do something.
Leonard, what are you doing? What is this place?
What happened to me that night?
My brother, I think you already know.
No.
Just calm down. And have a seat.
Mom, I just want to go home. Please, my mama waiting on me. I won't tell nobody. Just let me have a seat. Let me go.
Just calm down.
I need you to move. I just want to go home.
I can't let you do that.
I just want to go home.
I just want to go home.
Stop it!
No! One more! Get off me! Get off me, man! I just want to go home. You can't! One more! I just want to.
Sir, I don't belong here.
Shit. You think I do? We as artists, in a way, have a responsibility to convey, a lot of the stuff that's happening in society today, especially when it comes to what's being expressed as far as the systemic racism. This has been going on for generations upon generations.
Being black in America, it is a constant state of uncertainty. And that's one of the things that we seek for. When people are talking about the great American dream, when they're talking about the house and the picket fence, what they're really saying to you is, I'm looking for a state of security. So living in a constant state of insecurity, it's no wonder that we have such a high rate of mental health concerns and issues in the African American community. Is traumatizing.
Man, I had hopes for that boy. He went to the best schools. His mama worked her finger to the bone. Make sure he went to the best schools.
Yeah, I know she was proud of that boy.
Mm-hmm. You see Leonard, and he's dressed nice. He's actually well educated, and he's like the American dream of what it is to be like you make it out. First generation type of situation, and even then, no matter what pedestal or no matter what accolades he had, no matter his achievements, fall victim to just being black in America, which can come down to being unjustly murdered, at a traffic stop. I think that was like the significance and the real depth that brought a deeper meaning to me in playing Leonard.
That there's Trevor. Broken tail light, wrong neighborhood. The wheels started to turn in Leonard's mind that, hey, maybe I'm not in the place I think that I am.
What is this place?
What happened to me that night?
My brother, I think you already know.
There's so much that happens out in the world. There's so much to be fearful of. But once you get in these doors, in this space, you're home.
And when he really started to get it, he went back to the phone booth, had a little breakdown from that point, and then he breaks out of the phone booth the second time, and that's when everything was starting to build up to its culmination point. And I guess the most surprise moment or the aha moment was when he sees his younger brother comes in and is like, oh, now it makes sense.
Art is an imitation of life, and life can also be an imitation of art. With that being said, as an artist, it's my job also to be an activist. And so I like to take my art and use it as effectively as possible in order to create a change in people. Don't think about it too much.
I get to be an artist, but I'm also an activist, and so I have a responsibility to the community to make sure that anything that I'm a part of is not damaging to the community, so I'm always conscious of that.
So what's your story?
You know what, Jean?
So for me, it's very important for my art and what I do and who I am to reflect the three-dimensional life that we have here. And that way we can help each other to see what's going on and then to become better people.
No more our word against theirs. We'll have proof. We'll have justice. We'll connect all of us. Make sure that we can watch over each other. Keep each other safe.
All right, here we go. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really hope you enjoyed it as much as I did filming it because, yo, this project took a good toll on all of us that was a part of it early mornings. And it just really, really, really turned out to be an amazing, amazing project.
Thank you guys for screening with our Serendipity Festival. Really appreciate you guys submitting your work and representing Atlanta for Arts ATL and for Fulton County. I'm just going to start off by asking who you are, what your film is, and a little bit about the process that went into it. So I'll start with Crystal. Can you tell me a little bit about yourself and about your project?
Sure, yeah. My name is Crystal Jin Kim. I'm the writer and director of Youngwon Hanbok. It's an experimental film, kind of a music video, kind of a fashion film, dance film, a combination of things, very Korean American film. I grew up in Georgia and I went to college at Northwestern in Evanston, Illinois, and back after graduation in 2014, and I live in Midtown. Yeah.
Cool. Josh?
So my name is Joshua Cleveland. Basically, I grew up here in Atlanta. I'm currently a Georgia State student, graduate student. So the film Black was kind of like a collaborative work. I was the DP and co-director for that film. I directed it with India Childs and Sheree, who was also the dancer. So, you know, the film is definitely kind of a performance work piece, but also has poetry aspects to it, major poetry aspects to it. And it's definitely, I wouldn't necessarily say if it's experimental, but it is kind of, has a narrative story to it, but at the same time has music video aspects to it also.
Bobby?
Hi, my name is Bobby Huntley. I am the writer and director of TNC. And after, you know, this insane year of 2020 that we had, I did a previous project called Corona Man that discussed the unnerving hype and hysteria and everything we were dealing with in terms of the COVID-19 coronavirus. And that went over pretty well. And with TNC, I wanted to discuss another hot topic point that's going on this year, which is, you know, just how African Americans and Black people in general are being, you know, viewed and treated, not only in America, but all over the world. And so this was my way to do that from a creative standpoint using the thriller and horror genre.
Gotcha. Yeah, if people haven't seen Corona Man, it's a great trailer for a film that I feel like is very. When I saw it, I started showing people. I was like, this looks great. I think Bobby, you left it at a good place, and I'm curious for you guys, just how you're doing with this year, you know. And I think Crystal, you didn't make this film in 2020, right? You made it earlier, and Josh, you made Black in 2020, right? So Crystal, you don't have to necessarily talk about making that film in 2020, but maybe just about what your process has been and how you've been doing as filmmakers, as people this past year, and how maybe the projects that you screened or are working on are kind of reflecting where you're at right now.
Sure. Yeah, I made Young One Humboldt earlier than this year, but yeah, I shot a project in January and then got sick kind of early on, actually. It might have been the flu or something, I don't know, but I was already quarantining from like end of January until like March, and then everyone was locked down. So I just kind of did solo projects. I also do other kinds of art and writing, and so I was just kind of locked down into that for spring and summer, and shot a few projects since end of July, August, like 3 maybe, something like that, and have just had a lot stricter precautions, of course, and testing beforehand and distancing in much smaller sets. And yeah, it's been interesting, a very interesting process and adjustment for us.
Yeah, so we're just going.
Yeah, you could go for it. Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, kind of like Crystal. I ended up getting the coronavirus for a short time. I had it for about a month. It's pretty, sucked a lot, but it was thankfully, the symptoms weren't as major in comparison to a lot of other people have experienced. But I did, practice social distancing and still got it from someone who I guess didn't know that they had it. And basically, it's, been this process of navigating work and school and, finishing up grad school and just trying to, be creative during this time, not go insane. I think I haven't necessarily worked on that many projects. I worked on one recently, with Crystal, and we, kind of the project kind of speaks to a lot of what we've been going through this year in 2020 and has a lot of commentary on that. But yeah, man, I guess just trying to navigate art and creativity through this really strange season.
For myself, this year didn't make any sense to me at all. And I had to, for my mental sake, put my thoughts, fears, questions, concerns, everything into some work. And just so that I can try to get a grasp of understanding, trying to grasp whatever way I can, what was going on. Because when you turn on the news, it was like, this isn't real, this cannot be real. And so putting it through my lens as an artist, I felt I was able to make my place and my space in the world at large, and then find people who felt the same way that I did, and just kind of made things a little bit more digestible for me. And I'm happy to have my work resonate with so many people, as we've been getting through this year. So that's been my process, really.
So can you talk a little bit about what maybe some of your favorite things are about the films that you guys screened? I feel every filmmaker kind of starts to feel like there's either stories or sometimes just like they feel really excited about something that maybe sometimes people don't recognize or don't catch. So is there something that you feel you're just very proud or excited with how with an aspect or element of the film that you screened?
About our particular films, or which films?
Yeah, about the ones that we just screened.
Oh, well, number one, like the cinematography is like insane. And I don't know if there's any particular like with the curation of bringing things together, but I noticed like use of color throughout all of our pieces. I was like, wait a minute, like it's just, I really just enjoy the use of color and camera movement and placement. Like it was just real poetic throughout all the pieces. And the use of, you know, music and art, sound, and all those things, it all ties in beautifully together. So I think that was a pretty awesome thing to see all the elements come together in that way.
Yeah, I agree. I was gonna say both of your films are so gorgeous in terms of cinematography overall, but the color is just like, oh my gosh. And I feel like ours, the three of ours specifically, are interestingly connected almost. Like I feel like they're, like Bobby, I think your film, it has some of mine and some of Josh's in it, like certain themes of mine and yeah, actually both, yeah.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think movement was key. I loved the way that you know, Bobby, you used camera movement within like the narrative. It kind of had like that. I think initially I didn't know what world I was in. And I think the camera movement and having like kind of like this very eerie just like flow just took me to like a dream. And I think you were kind of creating this like supernatural world, and you use camera movement and color to do that, and I thought that was awesome. And the same thing with Crystal, like connecting these two people, you know, and you know, kind of like their souls or their hearts or their minds through just constant movement and dance and lighting. I thought that was awesome. And I say this like for mine, I think that was when India and Saray kind of brought the project to me. That was one of the key things that we like wanted to like focus on. You know, a lot of the like within our planning, I got a lot of inspiration from Khalil Joseph and his work, and he uses movement and lighting and color throughout his work. And so he just like, yeah, we want to, you know, speak to a lot of the same ideas through like what's going on in 2020, but also this kind of like Black intentionality within the film. So definitely dope.
Great programming.
Yes.
Oh, well, thank you. I mean, we had, you know, good submissions make it easier, obviously. My question is kind of what you guys have been saying. You know, it sounds like color and movement have been two things that you focused on, and Josh, you kind of got into that a little bit with your film. So I'm curious for, you know, Crystal and Bobby, as far as color and movement, you know, what were some of the things that you were paying attention to within your projects in terms of how you decided to light it, how you decided to color it, and movement. You know, as Josh's work was very movement based, but you know, there's movement as camera movement. It's the flow of editing. So what are your thoughts about color and movement as it pertains to your works?
Bobby, would you like to go first?
By all means, after you.
Okay. So yeah, Youngwon Hanbok, you know, for me, there is a narrative behind it, even though it's very, it's loose, and I don't expect the viewers to know exactly what I was thinking, but my hope is that they understand the arc and the emotional relationship between the characters and the settings. And so, yeah, we start very still. It's kind of their, not necessarily their paradise, but it's a mother and son, and it's like their home life, and it's interrupted, and then we go into strife and struggle, and their you know, denial of the situation. They're fighting to get back to each other in their own ways, and of course with that, the dance and the sword dance and the cuts and the camera movement are a lot more dynamic in those parts, and then we settle into mourning and acceptance, and then eventually hope. And yeah, the dances for the ending, like it's Kim Baker is the actor playing the mother, and she's an incredible dancer, and in many different disciplines, and including Korean traditional dance. And she's doing Sarpurichum, which is traditionally a mourning dance. And man, like I wish I could just post like the 20 minutes of her just doing that dance because it's so gorgeous and tear-jerking by itself. But yeah, I think, having, I guess, dynamics within the camera movement and the cutting and the dance itself, it was important to me. And certain themes of red and intensity following the strife, and white as part of hope and mourning as well.
Oh yeah, for myself, the bar pretty much, of course, represents purgatory. And we had pretty great help because the bar already has a very red motif throughout. So a lot of that was the lighting that was already there. And we just emphasized and embellished, with that to, create an eerie sense, and then also some balance with some blues and teals throughout, so that it won't be so red. And I'm crazy about movement. I love constant movement. We did everything we could to make sure we had the dolly on set ready to go. So I was very excited about that. And as much as we could, I wanted constant pulls, pushes, tracking, dolly in, dolly out, to just keep the flow of everything going. Because I kind of wanted that to symbolize life continues to go on around you, even though you're still in an emotion or a feeling or a thought. There's always going to be constant motion to move you forward and push you forward. So I kind of wanted, as the character sinks deeper and deeper into understanding where he is, and then also how he got there, and the fact that he can never leave, just to heighten the sense of the realities of that moment. So that's why I liked a lot of movement in my piece.
Yeah, no, I connect with that aspect, man. I mean, that was when Sheree kind of brought the poem to me, and we, like, her kind of mindset was really based in her navigating what was going on, in the news, and how, she felt at the time that she had to become like an expert on Blackness, in understanding her Blackness during systemic violence, and her trying to navigate feelings, being a high school graduate, she felt super just pushed into this world of just like having to process, and we wanted to use movement to kind of illustrate how life kind of pushes you forward. There's time it just kind of felt like days just kept going and going and going, and even there was kind of like this cyclical feeling of just having to like go through the same experience over and over again, which is what we tried to like focus on within the cinematography also. Within the color, the same thing. It's just like the ups and downs of emotion, how you had seasons of depression and seasons of feeling angry and seasons of, peace, but then also navigating how that's kind of like the identity that has kind of become tethered to Blackness in general, that we as Black people have had to learn to navigate emotions and feelings through different seasons and adapt and flow and keep going. And so yeah, I connect with that aspect of what you said. Can't hear you, Lev.
Yeah, do any of you want to respond to what anyone has said, as far as, I feel like you guys all individually gave a good layout of how you achieved your vision. Do any of you want to respond to any of the things that have been said so far between each other's work? And how
I believed it. It was all effective. Yeah, I believe it. Yeah.
Do you feel like what other people have said about their works kind of connects with what you were doing within your films?
Definitely, for sure. It's just a matter of like, and that's the thing as artists, we have these ideas. First, we have these themes of what we want to say. And then now we have to think of like, oh, okay, what's a unique and artistic way to say it so that there's some layers and, things to it. And then you just hope and you pray that people can not only get and understand what you're saying, but that they can feel it. And what I love the most is just hearing, other artists and other filmmakers talk about their processes and how they get, to those certain themes in different ways that they use different, you know, mediums and things to come together and textures and all these things to make it the whole piece that it is. And yeah, it was just very effective all throughout, you know. Art is extremely important, necessary, and needed right now and forever. So support all the artists.
Yeah, I also wanted to note, Bobby, in your film, I think another major element that made it feel like life keeps going, like the music, and you did the music. That was incredible. Like had such drive to it. Like at first, before I knew what was happening, I thought this was like gonna be like an action movie. Like he was about to embark on an adventure somewhere.
Yeah,
and then like it was constant, but not in a distracting way. It was like, I don't know, it was just added a lot of dynamic to it. That was awesome.
Yeah, the music was, I wanted the music to be like the fifth character. And actually an earlier iteration of it, the music was more louder and in your face, especially the guitar. Yeah, so it was just finding that balance of, okay, they're in the bar, so obviously there's gonna be music in the background, but I wanted the music to interact with the story and with the characters and respond to certain things that is happening. So I appreciate that because we worked very, very hard on that music.
Awesome. Crystal, I had a question for your film. What role did like shaping light play for yours? Like you used a lot of lines and shapes, and you know, what made you utilize that? What did that mean?
Yeah, you know, it's challenging for me to talk about this work a whole lot because I feel like it's such an intuitive piece for me. Like I feel like I have a easier time talking about my more narrative work, but yeah, I think, you know, there's a number of elements like when she's in the dark space and like lit from overhead, you know, like I don't want to say too much because I do want to leave a lot of it up to the viewer, but she's kneeling and she's looking up into the light. And for me, that's a lot of her like looking to God and submitting and asking for help and mourning, you know. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say. Like in the natural light, yeah, there's just a lot. It's hard to think it's there, but and like the neon house piece is by In Chun. She's an amazing artist here in Atlanta, and you know, that creates light by itself too. And for the ending and for Eun's character when he's in the skeleton outfit, lit by it. And yeah, I don't know, it's got its own kind of sense of home. And also, I don't know, like the blue of it and the glow of it is haunting in a way too. Yeah, there's a lot. I wish I could articulate these things better, but thank you for your question.
Yeah. Well, my question for the both of y'all is like, obviously the use of dance and body movement is so, you know, monumental to the pieces. So with the direction of it, especially camera movement, how much of that is getting a sense of what the artists are doing with their bodies to kind of map out the shots beforehand, or you just allow them to do what they do and then you just try to capture it? Like what's the thought process with mapping those out?
Crystal, would you want to go?
No, you got it.
So for us, you know, I sat with the choreography with Sheree and I kind of, we talked through the meaning of certain moments, and we just talked about like, at what point, you know, is she in pain? At what point do you want, you know, to be on a spotlight and her to be anxious? And at what moment do you want her to feel powerful? And we tried to figure out how to capture like this duality or this complexity within Blackness. So we didn't want to necessarily just do shot by shot by shot. You know, we had a lot of continuous movements. So like it was a lot of planning it out, you know, and saying like, hey, at this moment, this is supposed to be her feeling strong, but then this is her shrinking, and so it was a lot of timing it out, and it was a lot of takes and a lot of just trying to make sure we hit those moments. And then some of it was just saying, I want to step back and capture her strength, the strength in her movement alone. And it was just balancing both, and it was a lot of planning, timing, and stuff like that.
Kind of a question, I guess, for some tech people, but you don't have to get super deep into it, but I'm just curious, what was some of the equipment that you used that you feel was really important to the project? I mean, whether it's the camera or the lenses or the, I feel like there's so much equipment that gets used in a project, but I feel like sometimes certain decisions that we make, we're really happy that we went with. So I'm curious what some of those decisions were equipment wise.
Well, I'm not a tech person at all. I just try to get people to come along my projects who can give me the looks that I want. So I'm like, hey, I just know I want some wide angle lenses so I can get that airy kind of fisheye look on some of the shots. But so shout out to my DP, Teddy Albert. He just helped with those looks. But yeah, we just shot with like a Black Magic, and he had some great lenses, and we just went with, whatever he had. So.
Okay, I'll go. My DP, Jin Kim, he's fantastic, amazing human being. We shot on the Alexa for it, and we some of the most useful pieces of equipment were not super intentional. Like when In's character puts the paper boats into the lake, we had to get them back out. We were filming at my friend and previous employer's lake home, and they happened to have a kayak. And so we had to, one of our teammates very kindly just hopped in and gathered them all up. And yeah, it was a good time. And also that red frame, it lives at the goat farm. And yeah, it just came in very handy for our shots.
Nice. For us, so we actually used like Fujifilm, and like we really love the dynamic range of just the film of the camera and its ability to navigate low light. We actually found a studio that allowed us to choreograph lighting. So we actually had we had Mike Gaffer, and he worked with us to creating the lighting design that we wanted, but we also had a room that basically we could just choreograph and time lighting based on moments, because we didn't want to be like making like changing lights during the actual scene. We wanted to be able to like time it out based on the moments in the poem. And it was like when we found that, we were like, this is what we need, this is it, and it was very helpful. Still muted.
I guess to wrap up, I want to ask you guys one question, and then we can do like a goodbye after everyone answers, because I don't know exactly how long they need it to be, so I might need to cut one of the answers or two out at the end. So I just want to make sure we have that space. My next question, and sort of final question, is what does it mean for you to be a filmmaker and artist specifically in Atlanta right now, and what the city means to you as a creative, as you're making your work?
I'll go, I guess. So I don't know. I think one of the things that I've recognized specifically in this season is this kind of shifting in the communal aspect of filmmaking that I feel like we as one within as like our humanity, we as people right now, we need we need some aspect of connection in some form or fashion, even though because we're so socially distanced from each other. And I think there's just this level of intentionality that has to go in, whether or not it's taking the proper precautions before you shoot something, and just being mindful and thoughtful of that. and like how to balance this connection and this intentionality within set life and set choices and set culture, but also within the films you make, and that you can't, you can shoot whatever you want, but it's always just, I think it's important to me to keep in mind of like how the film is functioning within the world that we're kind of existing in right now together. Even in how you crowdsource, even in how you fund, like right now we're in a, economic kind of crisis right now. And so it's just like thinking about that and the resources that you use. And I don't know, that I just feel like right now in Atlanta, there are a lot of conflicting views about political policies and even even the coronavirus. And I think as a filmmaker, we have to put a spotlight on the tension, but at the same time, be mindful and thoughtful of the differing views and perspectives.
For me, I travel all over the country. Well, in the old world, traveled all over the country with my films and got a chance to see how many different cities and states, their filmmaking circles operate. And I could definitely say unequivocally, hands down, that Atlanta has one of the most supportive, organic, relationship-based networking, aspects of filmmaking that I've, seen. And to the point, like, we get together weekly, bi-weekly, every month, showcase, our films, give great feedback, honest feedback, support. What do you need? I have gear. What do you, it's just very much that. So I'm so happy to be a part of this community and this collective. I miss it so much. And I'm going to try to find a way for us to be able to do it in a virtual space, because we keep thinking we're going to get back to normal sooner than later. But just being an artist right now, using our voice is very important. And it's been very therapeutic for me, and it saved my life many times this year alone, with the different things that, has come up in our news and, being able to use it in my art. So, I mean, and I'm thankful for my relationships that I've been able to build in this city to carry that out.
Yes, I feel very similarly to Bobby. I feel like Atlanta is just an amazing city to do work and to grow in. Yeah, I'm so thankful to be here. And yeah, if you ask any of my college friends, like, they will tell you, like, throughout college, Crystal talked about Georgia and Atlanta, like it was the best place to be. And yeah, they would be surprised that I didn't have a Southern accent and things like that. But yeah, I love living here, and I just feel like there is a lot of support. A lot of people are just down to make indie work together. And like, I love the Goat Farm. I love the Creators Project, just so many different organizations and support systems and galleries and just human beings who are down to do what we can, and to help each other, even if we're not able to pay each other every time, to trade favors and just be there for each other, I think is amazing.
The thing I think will be the icing on the cake is to bridge the gap between the indie world and the Hollywood world. I guess that's, filming in Atlanta now. So let's work with the city and the mayor and all the politicians to help bridge that gap and support indie artists in our productions. Thank you very much.
I agree. So yeah, thank you guys for sharing your work, and thank you for sharing the process and your thoughts behind the work. We have just 3 minutes, so if you just want to say goodbye, we could do that. So thank you.
Yeah, guys, enjoyed your work. Hope to connect with you guys, collaborate maybe. You guys have a good one.
Yes, it was amazing. Thank you, Lev, and Arts ATL and Fulton County and everybody. This is awesome, and I can't wait to see, like, all the blocks together.
Yes, was a awesome surprise and shock to find out that we were one of the finalists. I'm happy to be a part of this screening, film festival, what have you, and can't wait to do more. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Take care.
Take care.
Good luck with the rest of the year.
You too.
You too.